You are Black in the Green Room with me, your host, Keith Underwood. And this is your spot for real talk about entertainment with entertainers, creatives, and showbiz professionals. Actor Jordan L. Jones has quickly become one of Hollywood's most magnetic young talents as Jazz, Will's loyal best friend in Peacock's hit drama Bel-Air. He's brought fresh energy and heart to a beloved classic. A Texas native and USC grad, Jordan blends humor, authenticity, and faith both on and off screen. With Bel-Air entering its fourth and final season, he's proving that purpose and perseverance are just as powerful as talent. Jordan, what's up, man?
Yo, how you doing, man? Keith, thanks for having me, man. For real.
Oh, absolutely. No problem whatsoever. So as I mentioned earlier, you're a proud Texas native, and you've made your way to LA and then USC. But what's one thing from home that you still carry with you to this day?
I mean, just being myself in any room. My mom, uh, I guess we moved out to LA when I was 5. So it's interesting because even though like I'm from Dallas, like I'm from LA, honestly.
Right, right,
But my
right.
whole entire family lives in Dallas. Um, And so every single Christmas, I always go home. I've never spent one Christmas in LA. And just doing that, I used to go to Dallas a lot when I was younger. But as I got older, just how life is. But one thing that I don't ever change is every time for Christmas, going to visit family. And just like they always remind me of who I am. Just this Hollywood
Hmm.
stuff, it can get to you sometimes. Obviously, I wouldn't be the only person to say that, like, Hollywood could ruin some people just depending on like the rooms and stuff that you're in. It just is a hard business. So just me going back home at least once a year, just to in a way just to touch earth. That's one of the things that I carry with me all the time.
Yeah, you said holidays were a time that you normally would jump back into
Yeah.
Texas. What's on the menu, man, that Jordan's waiting on when he gets there?
Oh man. So my mom makes the craziest potato salad. So potatoes, when I get back, we always do like a whole Christmas dinner. Okay, so we got the ham, right?
Right.
Greens, but most importantly, my mom's potato salad. I can't wait for that. I can't wait.
Yeah. What's it about mom's potato salad, man?
You know what's funny about that? I don't know what it is because obviously, you know, with black people, they're not gonna tell you the recipe. So like it's
Right.
not even like, and also it's not like oh, 1 teaspoon of this, 1 tablespoon. Nah, it's all in the hands. It's all in
Right,
this. So
right, right, right.
I don't even know what it is.
Talking to the ancestors.
My mom does this thing where like I always try her potato salad before
Yeah,
she
yeah,
puts it
yeah.
out. And I'll either tell her if it's done yet or it's not. I never have any advice like, oh, it needs more this or it needs, I don't know. I just go, Mom, it's not, nah, it's keep going. Whatever that means. Just keep going. And then she'll do something. And then she'll be like, all right, try it again. I'm like, dang, that tastes different. Okay, now we good. So that's how we do the measurements
Right.
in my
Right.
family.
You said there's no ancestors. We're doing the measurements.
Not for real.
Right,
No, for
right,
real.
right. So Jordan, you said earlier, about the kind of like how Hollywood can get to you. What really drives your nerves, man, about Hollywood?
Well, that's a great question. It is an industry where you have to just, let me put it this way. You have to really know who you are and make sure
Hmm.
that you know the difference between who you are and what you do. Because in this industry, a lot of people either like you or don't like you, depending um, depending on um, a character that you play,
Hmm.
not who
Hmm.
you are at all. There's people that have told me great things about me. Oh my God, you're the reason why I moved to LA because that one line you did, and oh my God, and all these things. And that's great. It's great to hear that. But the truth of the matter is, like, you don't know who I am at all. Like, like not even a little
Hmm.
bit.
Right.
And so that can be a good thing. It could be a good thing where now, mentally in your head, you have this idea of who you are because of this is what people think that you are. And then you also have reality. So, just me keeping my head on straight, me having, like the same group of friends I've had since I was younger.
Mm,
Um, of course, life has to change depending, can't go to all the same places and things like that. But when it comes to my values and the people I hang out with and the things I just like to do, I just try to make sure that I stay doing those so I stay grounded. Because, in this industry, man, and also like, you gotta have tough skin in this industry because it's like the profession of no. I say
hmm
this stuff all the time where it's like, man, if I wanted to, be a banker at like JP Morgan Chase. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to do at all, but I'm saying if I had an interview and they were already liking me
hmm
and, they say, "Can you start tomorrow?" I had a good referral. My degree, everything matches up. I
hmm
most likely am going to get that job.
Right.
Hollywood's different. Hollywood, that could be the case too, where everything falls in line. But there's a lot of times where you have to coach for an audition. You have to get in that character. You have to imagine and envision you being that character because that's the only way you're going to do your best for the audition. You do your best. You get a callback. You get a chemistry read, which is like, okay, so the main person that we're casting, we want you to do the audition with them, and
hmm
everyone's in there, and the director and the producer, and they're all, oh, they're laughing at, oh, you had such a great audition. Oh, you're perfect for the job, and you can never hear anything again, and you have to
mm
get up the next day and do that again with
mm
hopes that, hey, I get that job, I get that. So I have a different respect for actors because of how we have to stay grounded and we have to, in a way, be realistic so we
hmm
don't go crazy, but at the same time, not be realistic at all with this whole entire profession and play these different characters and embody other things while still trying to be yourself. And
mm.
that's difficult to do.
Yes. So, speaking of jazz, how has playing jazz on Bel Air, how has it changed the way you see friendship and loyalty on screen?
Mm. You know what's funny? I'll say this. Art imitates life a lot. And I feel like when it, kind of what I was saying earlier, when it comes to like who I am and like, the friends that I've stuck with and, just the loyalty that I've shown and been shown by my friends. Um, I wouldn't say that it changed my take on it. I think that I brought a lot of that to the character. Um, I think like one of the first lines I say to Jabari Banks, who plays Will, I say like this town will try to make you forget who you are, but don't let it do that. That was something that
Mm,
like I went through, coming
hmm
from Dallas, you know, uh, coming here at 5 years old, being from the South. My mom also quickly took me out of public school and put me in private school. So that was my first time just being privy to, if you want to be honest, like just different groups of people. At
hmm
my public school, it was primarily black. We had like one white kid in our class, and then I go to a school that completely was the reverse. Like it was like me and like three black people, and it just taught me like being in different rooms, you don't have to change, who you are.
hmm
Um, and I learned that at a young age, and then finally getting Bel Air. We laugh a lot about this because a lot of times we're looking at lines and in certain scenes, and I'm like, man, I went through this, or me and my homie had gone through this. And so I would say to answer your question, like I bring a lot of that, to the character. Obviously, growing up watching Fresh Prince of Bel Air, seeing Will and Jazzy Jeff's relationship, you try to bring that to the show. You try,
hmm
um, but you don't want to look like you're trying. It has to be it has to
Right.
be natural. The best acting, it doesn't look like that. So I just tried to with that aspect because me and Jazz are different people. But with that aspect, I brought a lot of my own relationships to that for sure.
hmm did you sit down and talk to Jazz at all when you were getting ready to take on the role and what did you decide to keep and what did you decide to make original?
Um, when I first talked to him, well, we talked after like the first episodes came out.
hmm
And honestly, I think the best advice that he gave me was to just, I know it's gonna sound very cliche, but he was like, yo, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Um, and there's like a back there's a backstory to that, just because our show, even though we have the same character names and
Mm,
same relationships throughout the show, it's a completely different show.
right.
So my character doesn't act like DJ Jazzy Jeff
Mm-hmm.
acted. The relationship with him and Hillary was different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Him and Will's relationship was more of like a slapstick comedy kind of
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and me and Jabari's isn't like that, and that has a lot to do with the writing and the genre of the show. So I think the best advice that he could have gave me was to not act like he
Mm-hmm.
did. In the original, I don't think it would fit. And we've gotten a lot of high praise for the type of show that we are and how we bring that old school vibe, but like change it completely and revamp it. Um, so I think that's one of the things that I think I'm most grateful for too, is that, Will and a lot of the old cast members, they were just excited to see what was new. It wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
Will was so hands-on and was like, no, I want this because this didn't happen before and let's change this. He trusted the creative process, and same with,
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey, DJ Jazzy Jeff. And I think that was for the best for the show,
Mm-hmm.
just to not make it so similar, but still have those similar qualities. Um, yeah, and I'm thankful for that too. But one of my favorite moments is we did like after the first season came out, we were just doing a lot of press, and I remember we went to like this influencer house, and DJ Jazzy Jeff, his son, came up to me and was like, "Yo, man, you making the family proud, man. Like, couldn't have picked a
Mm.
better jazz." And that sounds good, from coming from anybody, but from him, like the family, it meant a lot. Because I just try to do my best, and what comes with that, and so that made me feel really good.
Yeah. Well, thus far I'm loving the take on the show. It's absolutely
Thank you.
fantastic, and have been watching all of the seasons. But I'm still waiting for Uncle Phil to throw Jazz out the front door.
Man, that's like the main question that I always get.
Is he
And I
ever going
always
to
say
throw
the
you out
same
the
thing,
front
like you
door?
gotta have to wait and see. Um, I will say that, like our show's different. And
Yes.
our show, what I love about Morgan too is that like he drops a lot of Easter eggs and stuff, but he doesn't want
Mhm.
things to just be like,
Right.
just corny and like right on the nose. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like if you
Right.
know, or if you saw that, you saw that. Like I remember, I think this was season 2 or 3, where everybody, Ollie, his main question he gets is, when you gonna do the Carlton dance?
Mhm.
And so because that's so, we already know that that's coming, but it's not gonna be like that. So I think it was a scene where he was talking to some girl in the show, and he was like, just in passing, was like, "Yo, this is my favorite dance," and he shows her a TikTok, but the guy is doing the Carlton dance. And so if you caught that, you caught that, but if you didn't, you didn't.
Right. 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 Right.
Um, I think season 1, there was a part where Aunt Viv is asking Will, like, "Oh, is everything okay, baby? Are you
Mm.
okay?" He's like, "I got in one little fight, like my mom got scared." And so like if you peep that was from the original
Mhm.
theme song, then sure, but he said it like it was a regular sentence. But if you
Right.
caught
Right.
it, you
Right.
caught it, and like if you didn't, you didn't. So
Yeah.
that's the stuff that, so if I'm not gonna answer if I get thrown out or not, but just pay attention closely in this season 4.
And see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jordan, you've played other characters that have been based on real people. So
Mhm.
what's your method when approaching those characters that are actually a little bit more reality, based, a little closer to home?
Well, I think that, what's great about playing different characters and what kind of makes it easy is that at the end of the day, a character is still human. There's human
Hmm.
traits, there's human qualities. And I think that the main thing in acting is for you not to just look like the character. Yeah, that's cool, but like to embody a real human being.
Hmm.
I always give this example, and not because like he's my boss or whatever, but like Will Smith, like like King Richard, right? With King Richard, one of the things that like what I take from Will is that if you look at King Richard, how he actually looks, and Will Smith, they don't look alike. But by the end of
Right.
that movie, Will Smith completely embodied King Richard.
Hmm.
And I think what helped him do that is him just being a real vulnerable person. In acting and playing characters, you have to be vulnerable. It's not just about, oh, I look like this character or I walk like him. It's like, no, can I convey to the audience what this character conveyed to us once, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so when I go into stuff like that, so I was on a show called The Rel Show and I played
Right.
Lil Rel Howery's brother. And there was just things, similarities that he saw in me that was like his brother. Now if you look at pictures of me and Rel's brother, we'd look nothing alike. But it's about that feeling that I gave him.
Hmm.
And when it comes to like, the script and stuff, just embodying a real person. Getting as much as you can from that character, but not trying to focus so much on like very small things, but just being real. And that's how I approach, just going after, different roles.
Yeah. Man, you and Coco, you guys have some great chemistry
Man,
on screen. I'm sure everybody says that all the
man, everybody
time.
says that.
Yeah. And what's your off-screen relationship like? I know you guys are friends. You guys have said
Mhm.
that, made that clear, but what's
Yeah.
it what's it like off screen?
Oh, I mean, Coco's great, man. I mean, Coco is she's so busy. Coco is, obviously she's got nominated for another Grammy too.
Right, right, right.
So what I do appreciate about her is how she can, balance these two careers. And on set, man, I think what helps our chemistry, honestly, is just we have fun. Um, a lot of times when we get lines and there's certain characters that you play where you really got to be tapped in, you really got to know your lines and stuff. But when you're on a show for so long and you kind of know people, we go out and we hang out and stuff like that, and in between takes, it's not like we're like writing the script. We learn our lines and we throw that stuff away, but our relationship and how much fun we have on set, then when they say action, it just
Hmm.
goes right into it. So I think chemistry just has to do with how real y'all are with each other.
Yeah,
And it's just gonna show. It's not like we go, like, listen, this is the scene, and you need to look at me like this. We don't ever do any of that.
yeah.
And so, us just having fun. I remember when my mom did the show, my mom was so impressed because, in between takes, she's trying to make sure she's got it or whatever. But she was like, you and Coco just talking the whole entire time, and then they say action, and we just go into it. That's because, like, I know our character, I know our relationship that way, I know a
Hmm.
relationship outside of it. It's just a mesh, and it's not even on purpose. It's really
Right. It
not.
it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you closest to behind the scenes that people might be surprised by?
Wow. Okay, I'll say this. I'm really close with everybody,
Hmm.
honestly. I think that in all, whenever you go to a job, you don't have to be best friends with everybody.
That's
And that
right.
doesn't mean
That's
you
true.
hate them or whatever. That's just
Yeah.
your coworker. But like, we all really hang out. So me and Jabari, who plays Will, Ali Charlatan, who plays Carlton, we're in a group chat. I'm talking to them right now, honestly. But I think this is really funny. I think the most honorable mention though is I'm really close with Simone, who plays
Hmm.
Lisa. And the
Right.
reason why I bring that up specifically is because that's the only person in the show that I've never exchanged lines with in a scene.
Really?
So I've never actually had a scene with Simone, and we talk all the time. And you would think that we work together, but little we've been in the same scene, but we've never actually had any dialogue where I'm actually speaking with her, where Jazz is talking to Lisa. It's never been done in the show. But I'll
That's
be
a,
in the same scene, but like she's over there talking to Hillary and just whoever, Aunt Viv, and on the other side of the camera is me and Jabari and Ali having a conversation. So on set, we're in the same scene, but we're not, if that makes sense.
mm.
So for
What
somebody
else?
I've never talked to on the show, I talk to her a lot.
Yeah, that's crazy. But what else would fans be surprised about behind the scenes that you've never talked about before?
Hmm. Wow. That's a great question. I'm sure if someone brought up a scenario, but like off the top of my head, let me keep thinking about that. Maybe it was something that will come to me. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. That's a good question. Like something that everyone doesn't know. Hmm.
How often does Will Smith visit set?
Well, he's like, dude, it's weird because like he'll do like surprise pop-ups. Like
Ah,
they'll be like, after this, you guys go to the such and such room, and we go there. Like, why are they asking us? And like, it's Will there, just want to talk to us, just to chop it, just to chop.
right, right, right.
He's very busy. I remember this season he was like on tour and stuff, so we didn't see him that much. But he always makes time. He always makes time, and
Hmm.
he always comes by and drops crazy knowledge too.
Yeah.
He said something. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead, go
no,
ahead.
no, no. You go ahead.
I was gonna say he said something that really resonated with me because everybody in our our paths of life, you know, we pray to get to a certain point and then we get to that certain point. Now we're praying to get somewhere else, which is great. It's called
Hmm.
not being complacent. You wanting
Right.
to, overachieve, whatever you want to call it. But he said something I really need to hear. He was like, "Hey guys, don't forget where you are. I know you guys, you booked the show. You guys are having a lot of, fandom going on and people really liking it. And he's like, accept that. Accept the
Hmm.
fact that you guys are really doing it. He had a story about when Bad Boys 4 came out, he went and um I guess at whatever rap party they were at, on the screen they were playing Bad Boys 1.
Hmm.
And he was like, "Man, I remember being exactly where that was and just thinking like, oh man, I gotta make it so bad. Where he's like, you kind of already did. So not saying be complacent, but saying that like
Hmm.
accept who you are, accept that, hey man, I did it. Like you deserve to pat yourself on the back sometimes. Life is hard. And so
Hmm.
when you do something good, it's okay to sit back and be like, and understand where you're at because he's like, because then you're gonna blink and this is gonna be over. That's exactly how I felt about Bel-Air. I'm like, man, I feel like we just started yesterday and we're
Hmm.
about to finish our last season. So just to stay there and enjoy the moment, you know. So
Yeah.
I needed to
Yeah.
hear that from him.
What's interesting too is when I see you guys doing interviews together or, on his platform, that he just seems like he just really enjoys being around you guys, spending
Yeah.
time with you. What was it? Has there been a time you said advice? Has he shared a mistake in life with you guys that you could learn from?
Um, Besides him telling us a funny story about how he passed up on the Matrix.
Yeah,
He
yeah, yeah,
told us
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah.
And we were like, why? And he was like, I just couldn't understand it. And that was hindsight. We're like, what? But everything happens for a reason. It didn't stop him from being like, a
A
star.
mega star.
So
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason. And I guess that was for Keanu. But it's interesting to hear that story.
absolutely.
But nah, not that I can think of any like crazy mistakes that he's done.
Yeah, that was a good story though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah.
yeah, yeah. Yes.
And I think it
And
came up because we asked him about it. And we were like, so what was that about? Because I heard that, like, and he was like, I just didn't understand it, man. I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay, like, all right, yeah."
Yes. Hey, when we
But
come like oh no, no, go ahead, Jordan.
I know that was going to be a good movie, though, regardless. You
Yes.
know, Will Smith, Lawrence Fishburne. Oh, yeah, that was going to be crazy. But hey, Keanu
Hey.
killed it too, man.
Absolutely. You're a USC grad and your degrees in communications, I
Yes.
understand that. How has it influenced kind of your approach to acting?
Not at all, actually. No, I'm playing. It's
I was sitting here going like,
I'm
okay.
like, wow, actually, I didn't use that degree. No, I mean, just for me, I would say I'm an extrovert. I like my times alone, but I got a lot of friends and I love communicating. I wanted to be like a what is it called, a broadcast journalist. That's what I was when I was in school. I was thinking about doing that because I was doing certain journalism classes. I love sports, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can do this," and I'm good at talking. I can like walk in a room, and it doesn't matter if I don't know anybody. I can make friends, and I think that definitely helps in acting because I'm not standoffish. I think I'm a good listener. I think that, even with people that come up to me that are fans or whatever the case is,
Mhm.
I give them the time of day. And not saying that, there's people that don't. I mean, there are people that don't, but that's not necessarily like a bad or a good thing. You don't have to, you can
Mhm.
be, whatever with your time. You're allowed to do that. But for me, I do a good job like listening hearing people's perspectives. And I think that helps too in acting when maybe there's a character that you go out for that like you can't sometimes you're not gonna necessarily relate to it. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's okay. You didn't experience that in your life. But now you know somebody who does, you know, and you know how
Hmm.
they act, and you know who they are because you were really listening and trying to understand a person. So I think that's maybe how that helped me. It's one of those subconscious things though, where like it's just I think it just helps me because that's just who I am now. But if I'm acting, I don't go, okay, go back to the Annenberg major and remember the tactics. Nah, I wouldn't say it's like that. But I think it's just like kind of shaped who I am as a person and how I'm open and accept certain things.
Hmm. Yeah. And so if you had the opportunity to do anything on the journalism or broadcasting side now, what would it be? And I think I already know the answer, but
I mean, I would just be like a Stephen A. Smith. That's who I would be. I would just be up there, very opinionated, yelling my opinion.
Right.
I think I'm a showman too. I mean, obviously I'm an actor, so I do what I do enjoy about Stephen A. Smith is he's just a journalist.
Hmm.
He is like he's
Personality.
entertainer. Yeah, he's a personality. And so I
Right.
don't think I would just be up there spewing facts. Um, I think I'd be up there like as a character.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what would be that one thing that you would just really go in about?
Okay, the one thing that I really would go in about, it's gonna show my background, but I change it every day. But my background is Kobe.
Right.
Because Kobe's my favorite player of all time. And Kobe deserves to be higher up in these rankings. And because he passed and stuff like that, rest in peace.
Hmm.
I feel like he just doesn't get the kudos of him being right there with Michael Jordan. That, like, don't get it twisted. LeBron and Jordan are right here, but the ball in the middle is Kobe. So I got Kobe in the middle on purpose. I feel like Kobe embodied what every single person really wants to be like in a sport. For
Hmm.
instance, LeBron James is if you say LeBron James is the best player of all time, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. He is the best player all around of all time.
Hmm.
But in a weird way, he's like not attainable, if that makes any sense. When Michael Jordan came in the league, of course, both of these people worked extremely hard, but
Hmm.
he was jumping higher than everybody. He was doing stuff that was like this is like a myth, right? LeBron James, he was the chosen one at 14. He's been the best player ever since. He works extremely hard, all that. But for me, I think what I loved about Kobe was his story. How he came in the league. He wasn't averaging 30 when he first came in the league. They wrote him off when he played Utah in the playoffs and airballed 4 times. If you airball 4 times in the playoffs in overtime, that could kill someone's whole career,
Yeah,
mental,
absolutely.
everything. We've seen how Ben Simmons is. I don't know what happened to him, but he's like, and that's okay for him. It's okay if you
Yeah.
don't want to play. But I'm just saying, mentally, I watched him overcome and then become the best player. Working hard, going to the gym every day at 3, 4, fall in love with it as we all, talk about how much we love certain things. He was the epitome of like, no, I'm actually going to sacrifice everything so I can be the best.
Hmm.
And that's why I respected him so much. And him just, for me, I'm the type of player like, you got to overcome. Yeah, if your team is bad, all right, score all the points. You score 81.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
look, I
Yeah.
work so hard that I trust myself shooting the ball over 2, 3 people rather than pass it to the open person. Some people call it ball hog. I call it deductive reasoning. I call it. I see. I was here this morning at 3. I was working out all day. He didn't work out like me. He. I don't trust him. I don't care if he's open. I'll shoot over 3 people because I work on my game. That that he passed the threshold of dedication that I feel like everybody aspires to be, but it's hard to do.
Mhm.
And so that's why I got Kobe above. So I always say this. I always say Jordan's 1A. I got Kobe at 1B, and then I got Bron at 2.
Yeah. What do you say to the Kobe haters up in the barbershop?
I don't say anything. You know why? I used to when I was younger, but it's now I'm at the point where it's like these conversations we've been having for so long that I'm at that age too where I just respect everybody's greatness. I
Mm.
respect if because everybody values something higher or lower, right? So some people value numbers the most. LeBron
Hmm.
James has the most points ever, right? I value that, but I don't value it the most. Some people think that's the argument. He has the most points ever. Argument done. That's it. What are we talking about? I would say there's still an argument, you know? It's about the perseverance. It's about, okay, you were with Shaq and people called you a sidekick, so that you had to do it by yourself. It was that regardless of what you think about him, when he had his case and his trial, he still showed up and played and was dropping 40. It's about
Mm-hmm.
that. It's not about the numbers. It's about how the player made you feel when you was watching him. And
Absolutely.
certain things make you feel a certain way. A lot of people love LeBron's IQ. I think his IQ is great. I Some people love how LeBron will pass it to the open player at the end of the game because he's open. I personally would rather look. I'd rather you shoot it over two, three people and make or miss. I'ma still ride with you because I trust you. And so if you miss, people miss. You know what I'm saying? But I like the fact that Jordan and Kobe didn't put the ball in another person's hands for
Mm.
the game when they're the most trustworthy person on the court. It's not a bad or good thing. It's just what you value more. And me growing up as a Kobe lover, that's what I value. A lot of people like LeBron, rebounds, assists, points, blocks, steals, leads every category and everything. Like I told you, like I don't really argue against it. If you come up to me and you're like LeBron James the GOAT, I'll be like, he is.
Yeah. It's funny because it seems like it's not as much about the game. Well, it is the game, but
Yeah.
it's people's personal connection to the
Yes.
player,
Yes.
their story makes a big
Yes.
difference. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Like
That's
even
that's
just
a good way of looking at it.
yeah, even with whatever you think about his trial, if he was innocent or guilty, to go through that and actually show up to the game in the state that it was happening in, and people are saying all types of things about you. I can't even imagine the words and slurs he
Mm.
was hearing, right or wrong. But to still go up there and perform takes a different type of person, and that's the type of person that I value.
So, what have been some of the biggest lessons that you've learned from working on Rel, Snowfall, and now Bel Air?
Um, hmm. You know what? I think especially now with Bel Air like ending, each time you get asked a similar question, you answer differently based upon where you are. You like obviously in
Mm-hmm.
life. And so now that Bel Air is actually finished, kind of alluding to what I was maybe talking about earlier, but I would say, man, be in the moment. Like be
Mm-hmm.
in the moment. Be in the moment. Enjoy what you're doing too. People forget that, this is a job, right? This is a job. I'm at work. I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
things for compensation.
Right.
Um, so you can lose that, but I think I'm just happy that I get to play make believe for a living because I lose myself in that, and that's good. And I was telling some of our castmates because we're like really close that it's like abnormal. Like we hang out too often to where
Right.
even certain fans and stuff like will come up to us and be like, "Y'all really hang out?" And we're like, "Yeah, like I didn't know that was illegal." But um, as this time has flown by and time doesn't fly by until it's the end of the time. Like while it's
Mhm.
going on, it's taking forever. And, and then,
Right.
and then we're like, oh man, and we still ain't shot season two yet, man. It's been 2 years, and then when it's over, you're like, dang, that happened so quick.
Mm.
And even though this is a lesson, I still enjoyed my time and I was very present, but I made sure I was present to
Mhm.
where now you ask me that question, I'm very happy that I was, and all the experience that I've had on different sets. And, it felt like college again. It felt like college where, you go into a new place, 4 years, 4 seasons, you meet new friends and things of that nature. You have so much fun creating with people.
Mhm.
But there is going to be a point where you have to move on and you have to grow and you have to do other things. You have to do bigger and better things. You have to. That's life.
Mhm.
So it's okay to move on. But just like college, I remember all my memories. Like I have so many memories. And I remember all my friends, and I still talk to them to this day, and they've shaped who I am. And so I didn't take it for granted. And just to be there working and say, oh, it's cool I play jazz on this. No, I took so much from the directors, from props, from sound, and from when I'm doing ADR, just learning so much, and just being in the moment with every single experience that I had, and so I can just hold on to it forever, like I'm
Hmm.
still going through it. I think that was the biggest lesson that I've learned because I chose to actually consciously do it, and I'm very grateful for it. So that's what
Hmm.
I would say.
Yeah. So those are the things that you relish outside of your castmates and your
Mhm.
check. What are you gonna miss the most?
Um, mm, that's got really good questions, man. I'm not gonna lie. Hmm.
As they
No, I
say in
just
church, take your time with it.
man, it's hard to say if you want me to take out my castmates. Um, because I think kind of what I was alluding to earlier is that I've been on many sets,
Mhm.
enjoyed all the sets that I've been on, but how close we were on this set, it's something that I don't think I'm going to experience again. I don't. And I used to tell them that I was like, guys, every show is not going to be like this, and that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad show. It doesn't mean that, but the way that we were and how knit we were, um, and that we still are. Keep in mind, that had been nothing that I had experienced like prior. This has definitely been the closest set that I've worked on, and it felt like really family.
Mm.
I remember talking to one of the producers of Westbrook, and on our last days and everything. Sorry if I'm outing everybody if y'all watch this, but we were all crying and stuff. On our
Mm.
last shots, we were all crying. And I even stayed. I came back to set to watch Jabari have his last scene, and Ali and Simone and everybody. And I cried probably 20 times. Each time I had to recry. It was terrible. Um, but I asked this producer, and I'm like, yo, have you ever been, you've done so many shows.
Mhm.
He's like, dude, I've never experienced this. I've never experienced like, dang, like he was like surprised, like, dang, y'all really gonna miss this. And not that he was surprised, like, oh, this is some bull. Like, why would you miss this? It was like, man, like with everybody else, it's not as close knit. So you're happy for your experience, you're thankful, it's emotional, and you go on to the next job. You know what I'm saying? You're thankful you go on, but
Mm.
we were like some kids in there.
Yeah.
We were, and I know you said to take out the cast, but I don't think I can. I don't think I
Mm.
can for this question. I think that is the thing that I'm going to miss. I remember my mom said she was like, "You must love your job because I live. We shoot at Universal Studios, and I don't live
Mhm.
too far, like 10 minutes. And there's been so many days where I was not shooting that day, and I go to set anyway, get some lunch, kick it, talk to everybody, go watch a couple scenes just to have, just to kick it. It's down the street. Why not? My mom was like, "You really must love your job if you go to your job on your day off." And I'm like, I never thought about it like that because I was having so much fun. And this, my mom also says, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So it
Mhm.
always felt here. I loved it so much that it didn't feel like work. It didn't feel like, oh, I'm about to go to my job today and it's my day off. Why they got me? No, I would go up there, kick it the whole entire day. Sometimes leave, come back.
Mm.
And you don't just do that ever.
Right.
So I think the people made it that way. They did. And not just the cast, just the crew, writers, directors, their office was always open. We would just go up there and bother them just to try to get spoilers sometimes. Sometimes they tell us, sometimes they wouldn't. Um, and yeah, I think I'm gonna miss that the most, honestly. Just how
Mhm.
we all were as a moving machine. It didn't seem like we were moving a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon. So as Bel-Air is getting ready to wrap, its final
Mhm.
season, as we mentioned, what kind of roles or projects are you most excited to explore next? What do you want to do next?
Yeah. You know what I want to do, man? I want to do like it's so funny how I said earlier, like my answer with this changes like all the time. Um, but you know what I really want to do? I want to do like a sci-fi thriller. I know that sounds
Mm-hmm.
crazy, but not like a extraterrestrial. Like I was watching Pluribus last night. It just came out on Apple TV and like that type of show where it's like just weird things are happening and like strange science fiction things are happening, but it's a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got that. I think I got that range, and I also what I'm very thankful for with Bel Air is that my character, he was there was a lot of different facets to my character. Like, at first he's like the guy with all the wisdom. You know, I didn't say this, but the handsome guy, with the heart. I didn't say this, okay?
It's all good.
Don't shoot the
Yes.
messenger. We got that. We got the romantic side. We got the serious side. We got the emotional side. We got the gaslit side. The comedic side. Jazz has jokes here and there. And so because I had all of these different things to my character, I'm thankful for Morgan and how he wrote the character this way
Mhm.
because I feel like I can play anything. That's just, the confidence that I have in myself, but not even necessarily confidence. I just think that, I just think that I can play a lot of
Mhm.
things, a lot of characters, and I can convey different emotions. So I'm excited for my next project for people to see me. There's like, oh, he's not acting like Jazz at all, you know.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. Jordan L. Jones, where can everybody find you on social media?
With my name on Instagram, it's Jordan L. Jones. Twitter, Jordan L. Jones. TikTok, Jordan L. Jones. Um, I think TikTok I might have a period in between, but I think if you search Jordan L. Jones, I'll pop up anyway. Um, yeah, I'm trying to get some more TikToks, man. So if y'all watching this too, send me some trends. I'm trying to get into it. It's hard. TikTok is a different beast than Instagram. Instagram, you could just scroll. TikTok is like if you see a trend that you want to do, you got 24 hours, or now it's old. I know that uh she plays Ashley on the show Akira, and I knew I was old because I'm a young looking dude. She was like, "You still use Instagram?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what you talking about? She's like, "It's TikTok," and she's up on all the trends and stuff. And by the time I see her thing go viral, I'm a week late. She's like, "You can't do it anymore." It's like, "I can't do it anymore." I wonder what she
Sure.
thinks about that 6'7" trend. I still don't get that either.
I'm out the loop. I'm gonna have to go on TikTok and look it up, and then I'm gonna be too late.
Yeah, dude. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan L. Jones, man, thank you so much for joining me on Black in the Green Room. I mean, man, this has been a good conversation. I appreciate
Great
you.
conversation, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking great questions as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that
man. You
was
made
fun.
it easy.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All
Be sure to follow me, Keith Underwood, at Mr. Keith L. Underwood on IG. You can also follow me on FB at Keith L. Underwood. And you gotta follow Black in the Green Room at Black in the Green Room across all platforms. Until next time, this has been Black in the Green Room.